right, there are several new developments now following the deadly shootings involving ICE agents in Houston and in Maine. After federal officials said they would put a pause on most of the vehicle stops conducted by ICE agents, President Trump pushed back. In a social media post, the president said, quote, "We must be strong, tough, and smart, and we cannot give up one of ICE's most important and effective crime-fighting tools, the traffic stop." Both shooting cases in Maine and Houston involved ICE agents who claimed vehicles were weaponized before shooting, and in both cases, agents were not wearing their body cameras. The Department of Homeland Security says that every ICE arrest team will now have one officer wearing a body camera. There are still several unanswered questions in each case. However, in Houston, prosecutors are trying to get special visas for the eyewitnesses who saw that shooting. The goal is to protect them from deportation as the Harris County DA conducts an independent investigation. Houston's mayor also called on the Texas Rangers to conduct their own investigation. Hours later, Governor Greg Abbott had this to say.
I fully expect our immigration laws to be enforced. It's proven the immigration laws can be enforced, and stopping illegal immigration from coming across our border can be achieved without shooting people. The Texas Rangers are now going to be involved in an investigation of this matter, working alongside federal officials to get to the bottom of exactly what happened.
Well, despite this new promise of an independent investigation, many in our local immigration community say they are still grieving the loss and they are demanding broader changes. Our Marissa Armas has more.
For the past 9 months, advocates with La Colectiva North Texas have been providing resources and guidance to undocumented immigrants outside of the Dallas ICE field office.
And we're exhausted. I am tired.
But after 3 deadly encounters involving ICE enforcement in cities outside of North Texas in recent days, advocates say that exhaustion has turned into anger.
I think at this point it has reached the level of just grief and the level of rage that we're just, I don't even think we treat dogs this bad in this country.
Last week, an ICE agent in Houston shot and killed Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. On Monday in Maine, Joan Sebastian Duran Guerrero died during an encounter with agents. Neither men were the intended targets in those traffic stops targeting undocumented immigrants. And on Tuesday in Florida, a tractor trailer struck and killed another man while running away from ICE agents.
It's enough. Enough is enough. And life is too precious to continue to, again, treat us like trash.
Latinos and advocates alike say while not in the spotlight, ICE traffic stop and operations continue happening right here in North Texas, even when we may not hear about it.
We are unsurprised by these deaths because we have so many detentions happening in North Texas, but it's done so silently.
According to federal data, the Dallas ICE sector leads the nation with more than 50,000 arrests since 2020. The agency couldn't immediately tell us how many stem from traffic stops. Tuesday, ICE said it would suspend the controversial practice. But on Wednesday, President Trump urged ICE to resume, saying, "We cannot give up one of ICE's most important and effective crime-fighting tools, the traffic stop." Advocates say the mixed messaging raises concerns.
It's instilling this culture of fear, and that seems to be, again, by design.
This chain of command issue that is inconsistent, and it allows rogue agents to do whatever they want.
They say they'll continue fighting for immigrant communities.
The fight continues, and good trouble is necessary for the next step because, yes, as many people are saying, vigils are not enough.
In Dallas, Marissa Armas, CBS News, Texas.
A high-profile civil rights attorney has joined the Daniel Irvin case. Irving drowned in Lake Ray Hubbard in April. Just days ago, police arrested 2 teens and they charged one of them with tampering with evidence. But now the family is calling for murder charges. Our Briseda Olguin has the story.
Not only are we going to fight to make sure they remember Daniel Irvin's name, but we're going to make them get justice, not partial justice, not half justice, not 3/5 justice.
Prominent civil rights attorney Ben Crump has joined the legal team representing Daniel Irving's family. Irving's family has expressed frustration with how the investigation was handled.
Because if they really cared, if they really wanted to do something, they've had 3 months to bring tampering charges. They've had 3 months to look into this case. And we will, Mr. Crump and myself, be conducting an independent investigation. But that's not our jobs. That's the police's job.
3 months ago, on April 13th, the 18-year-old left his house, got in a white car, and never came back. Police say Daniel drowned after he and 2 other teens jumped into Lake Ray Hubbard off the railroad bridge. DPD ruled it an accident, but just days ago, 19-year-old Lucas Roper and a 16-year-old were arrested for tampering with evidence.
Just tampering with evidence charges being placed on these 2 white boys. I feel like my son only received partial justice. But we're here to have murder charges brought against those 2.
A nearby business owner says this fence went up just days after the incident. He also says his cameras captured 3 teens walking into these woods, but said only 2 returned.
But what took place is a white sedan pulled up. 3 teenagers, young kids, got out of it. They walked around the unfinished fence, trespassed up to the railroad. That's where we lost them, then in all the trees. And then an hour or 2 later, we saw 2 of the 3 come back. They were jogging and running, hopped in their car and drove off.
According to the affidavit, the 2 suspects threw Daniel's clothes into the trees and got rid of his cell phone. The document also indicates Roper admitted to deleting text messages between him and Daniel from his phone. In Rowlett, Briseid Holguin, CBS News, Texas.
Fort Worth dentist is behind bars tonight, accused of giving a 4-year-old girl lethal doses of sedatives during what should have been a routine dental procedure. Our Amelia Magavro is live for us in the newsroom with the shocking details of what investigators say happened in all of this. Amelia.
Yeah, Ken, in fact, Dr. Chriselle Hemphill was just arrested about a couple hours ago. And according to the newly released arrest warrant, investigators say she gave that 4-year-old girl a dangerous amount of sedatives, all before what should have been a routine procedure. And tonight, her family says they're simply trying to remember the little girl they lost. What should have been a routine trip to the dentist became the day Aitana Rodriguez Arriaga died. 4-year-old Aitana went to Cuddle Kids Dental Care in Fort Worth for what investigators say was a routine tongue-tie procedure administered by the owner, Dr. Chriselle Hemphill. But according to the arrest warrant, Aitana was given 3 different sedation meds, including meperidine, known as Dermarol, along with nitrous oxide gas, commonly known as laughing gas. Investigators say after the procedure, Aitana became unresponsive. The warrant says Dr. Hemphill began CPR, but Aitana died at the hospital. The Tarrant County medical examiner later ruled Aitana's death was caused by meperidine toxicity. According to the arrest warrant, the medical examiner told investigators the amount of meperidine found in Aitana's system would have been high for an adult, and the medication was given to her twice or double dosed. The warrant goes on to say doctors told investigators 200 to 500 nanograms per millimeter of meperidine is considered normal for an adult. The level found in Aitana's system was measured at about 793 nanograms per millimeter. Wednesday, Hemphill was arrested outside her dental office, facing a felony charge of injury to a child causing serious bodily injury. And Aitana's parents couldn't speak on camera, but on a GoFundMe page they posted months ago, they described their daughter as filled with life and kindness, saying her presence always lit up a room and brought so much joy to everyone around her. Hemphill has been a licensed dentist, in fact, in Texas since 2017. We've also reached out to the Texas State Board of Dental Examiners to ask whether they have opened its own investigation and whether Hemphill has any prior disciplinary history with the state.
The crime was all caught on camera, and it shows the bravery of a security guard who fought off a homeless man with a machete. Now, we do want to warn you, the video you're about to see might be graphic for some of our viewers. Our JD Miles with that story, new for you at 10.
He blended in among those praying inside the Islamic Center of Frisco. It was June 7th, 2025, and Malik Charles Anthony Davis was captured by security cameras for more than an hour, walking into a changing area and hanging around until only a security guard was inside, kneeling in prayer, waiting for his wife to arrive and head home. That's when he casually walks up behind the security guard and attacks him with a machete.
Yeah, it's a very disturbing video. Nobody deserves to get attacked like that. And it can be scary to realize that there are people out there who will commit such acts.
Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis is speaking out about the case after a jury found Davis guilty of aggravated assault on a security guard and sentenced him to 50 years in prison.
Crime, random violence like that, we don't tolerate that here in Collin County, especially in a house of worship.
Cameras recorded the entire assault, which shows the security guard, Omer Yaqub, who survived the attack, fighting off the knife, and at one point pulled out his handgun, but he drops it and Davis picks it up. The victim fled the area bloodied and severely wounded, while Davis walked into the changing room and removed the outer layer of clothes he was wearing before leaving the Islamic Center on foot. The victim survived the attack, but suffered severe lacerations to his head and hands, and more than a year later, still faces a long road to recovery. Prosecutors say Yaqub's only thought after surviving the attack was making sure his wife was okay, who at that point had pulled into the parking lot and helped him until police arrived.
I think he showed a lot of bravery, and I know even in the moment where he was getting attacked, he was concerned for his wife because his wife was just outside ready to pick him up.
Davis remained at the scene and was arrested. Prosecutors say even after his trial, it was never revealed, and now maybe never will, why Davis, who had no violent criminal record in his past, would lash out on a husband and father of 3 who had just moved to the U.S. 6 months earlier. In McKinney, J.D. Miles, CBS News, Texas.
The owner of a trucking company is recovering tonight after trying to stop a man from stealing one of his trucks outside of a Dallas motel. As our Aaron Jones shows us, it was all caught on camera, and you'll only see it here on CBS News, Texas.
This was the worst thing that ever happened in my life.
This trucking company owner, who asked not to be shown on camera, is still in shock.
I'm afraid to go out. I'm just in panic.
Saturday evening, surveillance cameras captured a man driving away in one of his trucks parked at a motel on Finnell Street where he was staying. The victim says he had been transferring a case of oil between 2 of his trucks when he realized the man was stealing one of them. He ran after the truck, trying to stop him.
When he saw me, he just speed up and he ran it over me. I thought that I was like dying. At the moment, so much adrenaline, I didn't feel so much pain, but like a few minutes later, I started feeling all the pains.
He was taken to a nearby hospital after he says he hit his head and suffered multiple injuries.
My arm, in my shoulder, my neck, my back, my foot. I have experienced something like this in my life.
The next day, officers found the stolen truck here in the 9400 block of Larga Drive, only about 2 miles from where it had been taken.
I'm very surprised and I'm very happy.
Police conducted a traffic stop and arrested 32-year-old Miguel de la Osa Gonzalez. He's charged with aggravated robbery.
I wish he get in jail for a long time.
The victim says he's now unable to work because of his injuries.
Because I feel a lot of pain here.
But even so, he's grateful to be alive. In Dallas, Aaron Jones, CBS News, Texas.
We are learning of rescues, close calls, and neighbors jumping in to help during a 3-alarm fire overnight in Dallas. That fire was over at the Cambridge Park condominiums off Audelia Road in the Lake Highlands neighborhood. That's over on the northeast side of Dallas, near Garland and near Richardson, if you know the area. Dozens of people lost everything in that fire. Trevor Sahaki is there with an update.
I just lost everything.
Heartbreak this morning for residents of the Cambridge Park condos off Audelia Road in Dallas.
And as soon as I came out, I saw the smoke coming out of the vents. So I just ran inside, got my kids and my husband out.
The fire started a little before 1 this morning, quickly upgraded to 3 alarms, destroying 24 condos and displacing 45 residents, according to Dallas Fire Rescue.
It's over there in the middle one, in the corner of the top, the middle one, that's one we have.
Some people barely escaping the flames.
Because we get out, they cut the net on the front and they put the ladder, so we comes out on the ladder. I have no idea what is going to be happening tomorrow because we just trying to save our life first. That was the main concern that time. We don't care about the papers or any kind of stuff.
Before firefighters arrived, a neighbor I spoke to ran in to alert people about the danger.
I just saw a lot of engulfed in fire and stuff like that. So I started beating on people's doors, knocking on door to door to alarm them. It's a fire, it's a fire. Everybody wants y'all to get out, get out.
That effort may have saved lives. No residents nor firefighters were hurt during the fire.
The Red Cross tells me that they do have a shelter set up at the Lake Highlands YMCA. You can go there, get your phone charged, get some food. We also know that they are setting up fencing around this area as well. That should be going up within the next couple of hours to protect the area, make sure no one can get in. In Dallas, Trevor Sahaki, CBS News, Texas.
We're also learning more about a deadly overnight house fire on Fort Worth South Side. Today, the Tarrant County Medical Examiner confirmed the person who died is 37-year-old Jamie Martinez. And as our Robbie Owens reports, officials say the conditions in the home posed a danger even before the fire even started.
Just before 3 a.m., firefighters arrived at a home on Avenue J in Fort Worth to find that the fire already had a head start, a big one. The fuel had likely been building for years.
It was what we call a hoarder home, so a lot of stuff just stacked up, doorways, windows blocked off with just stuff that people collect over the years.
A 37-year-old man inside the home died at the scene. A teenage girl was taken to the hospital. She was last listed in critical condition. Hoarding, experts say, is a mental health condition and should be treated as an illness.
Yeah, it's not someone's being lazy or someone's just being sloppy. This is, when we talk about actual hoarding, we're talking about actual cognitive issues where the person needs actual help.
They can't get rid of the things that ultimately put them in danger.
Them and everybody around them, yes.
We spoke to the woman who lives here. She was not at home when the fire began, but says her son is the man who died.
Your son bought all this stuff?
Okay. No. I'm the one who got my decorations.
She calls the many items filling the yard her decorations, and even following the fire, refuses to leave.
A little bit of hoarding over a long time is a lot of hoarding. And so getting on top of this early is really kind of the best way to go.
Dr. Matt Chalmers says help is available, and families noticing hoarding tendencies should choose treatment over frustration.
Try to have somebody come in and kind of be the mediator, kind of come in and say, hey, we're going to help you organize and get this stuff together, and then run through this cognitive behavioral therapy. That's usually the best way to do it.
In Fort Worth, Robbie Owens, CBS News, Texas.
Dallas police officers and firefighters are being praised after rescuing a woman who was trapped in a ravine for days. As our Aaron Jones shows us, first responders say the rescue pushed them to their limits, but they never gave up.
When we got the initial call with DPD, we were seeing notes that said that there was someone deep back beside this ravine.
Dallas Fire Rescue paramedic Robert Kober says it took teamwork and determination to save a young homeless woman who had been trapped here for days.
When the call was received, it was pretty late in the afternoon, approximately 5:30 p.m. It was very, very hot from what I remember. Probably a heat index like upwards of probably triple digits.
Police officers and paramedics hiked nearly a quarter mile through thick brush and rugged terrain after a man working out near Conrad High School reported hearing faint cries for help.
The storm had just passed through several days before, and that actually played a huge factor in the rescue effort.
Mud was like a sticky clay. When you stepped in it, you sank past your ankles, sometimes halfway or more up to your knees. It was a nasty, nasty condition.
They even had to sift through sewage to reach her.
At one point during the rescue, we actually had to make a makeshift bridge out of several pieces of large wood.
When you learned that this young woman had been trapped here for several days, what was your reaction?
I was really surprised when the call initially said there was a woman stuck. I want to say they said stuck in a ditch, and my thought process initially was, oh, it's just like a ditch on the side of the road. So by the time hiking all the way out there, I'd already slipped and fell once. Only thought process was, wow, she actually has been out here for a while.
I was expecting the worst, to see someone that's barely coherent, possibly deceased. But when we arrived on location and I saw her, she was actually carrying a cogent conversation.
The woman was taken to the hospital suffering from severe dehydration, prolonged sun exposure, and other injuries, but was in stable condition.
I've been on similar situations where individuals that are in that type of environment for that long, they don't survive. So it was definitely a miracle for her to make it through.
Kober says the rescue is proof of what can be accomplished when first responders work together. In Dallas, Aaron Jones, CBS News, Texas.